Good morning from Sacred Space. It's Saturday, the 25th of June, 2022. I'm making this video because I'm obsessively, and I have been for quite some years now, obsessively contriving, striving, driven to put my truth out there about my life experiences and my attempts to thrive after decades of surviving narcopaths and psychopaths. And my mental health has actually been quite good, considering on the 30th of May I had another very large skin cancer cut out, and the doctor had to cut into old scar tissue, and it was so incredibly painful. Afterwards I got fever. I actually thought I'd caught COVID, but it wasn't COVID. It was a full-blown trauma activation, similar to the one I had 7 years ago when the first cancers on my shoulders were cut out either side, which brought me into a descent into suicidal ideation. And at that time I was under such constant vicious attack in 2015 that death was preferable. But I miraculously survived it, and here we are on a hell loop, an absolute hell loop, 7 years later. And I'm smiling. It's not funny, but I'm smiling because it's just so fucking bizarre. I almost died, if you've been watching my videos, on the 25th of June. So it's kind of the anniversary, right? On the 25th of June 2019, when I had the gallbladder surgery, I came very close to death. And I opened my arms wide and I embraced it, because I thought, oh, thank you, God, at last I will be freed of this constant torture, emotional, physical attacks, mental attacks, financial difficulties, inability to find a loving partner. It's just been too much for any human to actually continuously survive, and yet I have, which is a testament to my will and my faith in the gods, and by the gods, some kind of preternatural, supernatural inner strength that even I don't understand and cannot quantify. So I'm crying because it's been an intense month and I've been very ill. A week later I had a second cancer cut out, and that was slightly less painful, and I didn't have any attendant fevers with that one. And you know, I was starting to think, oh geez, I'm even getting good at having my flesh carved out, right? Which is a sign that you're really fucking done over, really seriously. But what can you do? We do what we can to survive and continue to thrive on this planet. And advanced skin cancer is a hideous thing to die of, and so I've been trying to avoid that outcome. Like a fool, I keep cleaving to life, and it's insane. The life that I've had to keep cleaving to life and choosing it is actually insanity. It's an inversion. But look around. The beauty and the bliss and the magic and the wonder and my neighbour's little yappy dog. Life is beautiful and worth fighting for. Don't get me wrong. I get fucking downtrodden and maudlin and distressed, but life is still magical and beautiful and awesome, even in this COVID epoch, this death cult, this debauchery. So where am I going with that? Yes, so anyway, I digress, as I do on my little rantantans, the Tanya rantantans. So last Friday, the 17th of June, I had a third excision to my body, which was a cyst that was cut out, which was extremely painful. And the doctor, who's efficient, but I put in my writings that I post on Vocal Media, I referred to him as an autistic meat cleaver, or words to that effect, because he truly seemed to lack empathy. But I dragged empathy out of him during the course of that surgery on my cyst, because I actually head down, face up, face down on the bed, actually engaged with him. I thought, surely I surely cannot have the misfortune of having somehow found yet another fucking sadist. It goes beyond the realms of ordinary mortal ken, but yet. So he remarks to me that the cyst was much larger than he anticipated, and he did indeed seem quite shaken. And I said to him, yes, because I'd left it for 2 years because I was avoiding all skin doctors, in fact all doctors, because this COVID regime has been such an inversion and such debauchery that I trust no one but my psychiatrist. So there is that. No doctor but my psychiatrist, I should say. So there is that. Anyway, he was a bit shaken by that. It's funny how being confronted with the truth causes people to get a bit shaken up, right? But I will have my truth till the day I fucking die. So anyway, when he began operating on the cyst, I felt every millimetre of that needle going in. It felt like he went in sideways, actually across the actual cyst. And I kept saying ouch, and in the end he kind of snapped at me and said, you have to tell me if you're in pain. I said, well, I'm saying ouch. It was a bit fucking surreal, okay? It was sadistic. I'm deprogramming it now. I'm processing it how it really is. Because I went into denial. I'm so grateful he's cut out the system. I'm so grateful I've got a chance to live a bit longer. I don't want to keep living like this. It's obscene how I'm treated. I'm grateful, but I'm enraged. So there was that. He says to me, oh, you have to tell someone when you're in pain. How many times can you tell someone when you're lying there going, ouch, ouch? My body was twitching. I was arching my shoulders. I was showing obvious signs of distress. Anyway, I got my revenge on the sweet Sato doctor who reminds me of that frickin' Little Shop of Horrors, you know, the dentist that sings the sadist song. I almost started singing it to him, because I'm dark and funny when I'm traumatised. Give me credit where it's due. It's how I survive, right? But I got my revenge on him. I said to him, doctor. I very rarely call them by their names. They're all modern doctoring. They want you to call them by your first name, like your new best friend, as they're trying to rape you or carve into your flesh, you know. Oh, buddy, pal, here's a cigar, and slap you on the shoulder. No, fuck off, you animals. So there is that. But anyway, look, I will give the man credit where he's due. He didn't try to molest me, which I'm grateful for. There's nothing worse than going to a doctor and he's trying to fucking molest you. And I'm not even that beautiful, so it's just an obscenity and a depravity and a symptom of the Agenda 21 genocide, because they hope to push the traumatised ones that they consider weak and somehow undeserving into the brink of their own annihilation. Saves the government money, doesn't it? The filthy bastards. So I will regroup. Give me a moment. I have to breathe. 30th of May. I already had asthma. Don't get me wrong, I was already spiralling under with asthma. It's winter time and my chest is very vulnerable. Forget COVID. COVID's the least of my worries. COVID might be a blessing if I actually get it and it's a gentle passing out of this shithole of existence. But we're not skirting around that drain. So, already feeling ill, 30th of May. After that surgery on the shoulder, a scar that long, 4 inches long it is, an old scar tissue, even he said it's going to be really hurt, I have to go into old scar tissue. Alright, he's the professional, be that as it may, job done. I spiraled into such bad bronchial asthma that verily, verily, the past month I have come close to death. Very, very close. Bearing in mind that I already struggle daily, nightly, with obstructive sleep apnea, trauma issues, gut issues, emotional issues, although my mental health has been quite good throughout this last 2 years of COVID because I kept myself busy with creativity. Even my psychiatrist was very impressed with me. But bearing in mind, that last cut to my body when the cyst was removed on the 17th triggered another violent, it came on about 2 or 3 days later, where I literally coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed to the point that I was vomiting and choking and unable to breathe. And this went on for 3 days. So today, the past 3 days, I put myself on a course of prednisone, which I hate prednisone. It affects me, it trauma activates, it does something, it causes hypomania. And I have been incredibly activated and ill with that. But my chest is slightly better today. The coughing has eased and my breathing is slightly better. So yesterday was a day from the gods, a shamanic day from the gods. And I have had shamanic prayers made for me and healing sent by my beautiful, powerful shaman friends. So I'm fighting on every level of existence to stay alive, even though I know I am dying, simultaneously dying. And it's a miraculous, magical, powerful force of nature that is starting to fucking scare me, okay? But I got up yesterday morning early because of course I'm not sleeping much with the hypomania from the fucking prednisone, because the day before my cleaning lady had come and gone. She cleans the floors in the bathroom, you know, and I looked up at the walls and I thought that all looks sort of a shade of green, and I thought, am I hallucinating because I'm so well and oxygen deprived? And I had to sort of really stare at the walls. And I ran my fingers across it and I realised every wall in my bedroom, probably every wall in the house, I'll have to go through and clean every wall in the fucking house, is covered in a thick layer of dust and mould. So, the Tanya, who has been languishing in the shadowlands of death now for 6 months, since I gave myself an industrial injury, cutting up PowerShell and grinding down ceramics, it somehow, even though I was wearing a mask, that dust got into my already very damaged lungs. I've been fighting off death now for 6 months because of that. Now, as of yesterday, realised, no wonder I'm fucking feeling so ill and dying. Because in addition to all my other shitful lung problems, I'm breathing in black mold. So what did I do? Yesterday I was very ill, actually. Worse than today. I mean, with my chest. But I thought, I have to fight. I have to fight with every ounce of strength I have, or I am going to die. And I won't give my enemies the satisfaction of that. When I die, it will be a dignified, honourable, peaceful, respectful death, and very likely by my own hand, because I'm done with the evilness of other human beings. So on went. Oh look, it was actually quite funny. Even I was laughing at myself in the end. On went, of all things, I felt inspired by the gods, who always have my back even though they're flaying me like a self-flagellating, perverted, masochistic monk. But that was not by choice. That was to survive sun cancers, right? Like a dumb motherfucker that I am. Anyway, on went the Tuvan throat singing music. Loud. My poor neighbours are all traumatised because they don't know what on earth is going on, and they just have to like tolerate my madness, which is not really madness at all. It is just pure life force, love lust, desire to triumph even as I'm dying over my lifetime of horror, trauma and adversity. So, thank you to the spirits and ancestors that love me. Apparently I have Tuvan throat singing ancestors, because by the gods, those men grinding down into the bowels of their gut with their thrumming, vibratory singing, empowered me to have the strength, the spiritual strength, if not the physical strength, to scrub every wall and ceiling of my bedroom. And it took me from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to finish cleaning the walls and scrub down the furniture and pull down all the curtains and wash them and clean all my big collection of schmonzes and sun catchers and jewellery that I hang around my bed as well, and wipe down my Buddhist prayer flags, because I figure Buddha doesn't want to be dirty either. We've got to honour all our gods. All manifestations of the Holy One need to be honoured. And when you start on your shamanic journey, by God, it's a burden, because I understand why Christians copped out and said, oh, well, Jesus died for our sins, so we don't have to worry now. We can just go around being as rotten as we like and get away with it, because someone else does. No. I don't believe in sacrificing other humans so that you get to get off clean and clear, you fucking debauched pedophiles. But sorry, that's how I feel about modern day Christianity. Having been raised in that religion and experienced that firsthand, I know what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying that all Christians are pedophiles and that all Christians are evil, but I hear time and again now good Christian people who were devout and faithful to their Lord telling me how evil it has gotten now. They're all walking away from it in droves. And I'm telling them, the shamanic journey is not easy either. You have to honour all the spirits and the gods and be at one with the whole cosmos. And some of them, verily, verily, are still out to get you in human form. Trust me on that. Even the doctors now, the doctors that we were programmed from young children to revere and honour and put faith in, the scientists, the epidemiologists, the fuckers is what they are. All they cared about was their latest Lexus and keeping their precious lifestyles at the expense of millions and millions of human beings on this planet, including myself. At least I had the courage of my convictions to refuse to be vaccinated with some experimental poison And by God, am I hated and resented for that, because they're all running around with a ticking time bomb inside them. But it's okay, because ironically, this muggins is dying anyway, so it doesn't even fucking matter. Maybe I'm shedding all their fucking toxins when they breathe next to me or hug me, who knows. It's all become so insane that I'm barely holding on. But anyway, I digress again. Here we are in this beautiful day, the anniversary of my almost death. Thanks for that. The gods cast me back to earth with the admonition, we're sending you back to a hellscape of epic proportions, and 6 months later COVID came along. They weren't joking. I've been made to jump through hoops and fires of hell and debauchery for 57 and a quarter years. No, sorry, and 2 months. It's June. Calm your farm, Tanya. Calm your fucking farm. Anyway, I scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed those walls yesterday, and I'm hellishly proud of myself. Hellishly. Because as much as death would be a beautiful, sweet, dignified release, I'm still fighting for my survival and my thrival on this planet. Sometimes, if only just as an act of defiance against all my oppressors, rapists, stranglers, attempted murderers, and verminous professionals, lawyers, doctors, government officials who betrayed me throughout my entire life. It's disgusting, is what it was. So there is that. Halfway through my scrubbing the walls, on went, it was called Northern music. Anyway, it turned out to be Viking music. Well, we all know that my ancestors, the Vikings, love me too. So that also strengthened and empowered me. And yesterday was a fierce and beautiful day. But then I crashed and burned later in the night. Actually, no, crashing and burn isn't the description for it. I was still fiercely enervated. I was still activated. I was still kind of high on my own adrenaline, pushing myself beyond the realms of ordinary mortal abilities. It felt fucking supernatural what I did yesterday, knowing how ill I am. And I messaged a former lover that for some obscure and insane reason that makes no logical sense, I still cleave to, like a fucking idiot that I am. Anyway, I realised this morning, he doesn't reply because he's so contemptuous and utterly ignoble and stupid, and it's probably a very wise thing to not reply, because nothing changes. It's the same go-round, the same hell loop from 7 years ago, the same manifestation of demonic influences that have dogged me since the day I first drew breath on this planet. So there's no point blaming men for failing to love me when it had to come from inside me, right? I have to be the love, the power, the strength, the God within and the God without, the goddess, the warrior goddess, the Viking, the turban throat singer. Whatever manifestation comes to assist me to get through my life on this planet, I have to be all those beautiful, kaleidoscopic, fragmented aspects of my soul that ennoble me and strengthen me to remain here, in this body, in this time, and in this space. So Dave Charles, if you ever see my videos, which I very much doubt, you wouldn't be interested enough to treat me with that level of respect but I'm putting it out to the multiverses. There are moments in time when I forgive you, and there are moments in time when I think, like my ex-lover David Davison, who haunted me for 4 consecutive nights in June 2016. When I die, I will fly across this world and I will haunt the fuck out of all my enemies. And the haunting will be in the ether forever via these videos, really. I mean, you have to laugh. My truth will remain my truth whether I'm alive or whether I'm dead. That is the only thing I will take with me to paradise or to hell, wherever the gods think I deserve to be. Maybe I'll be blessed with just oblivion. Either way, it will be a relief. But don't worry, those of you who loved me, who sent me healing, who supported me, who gifted me words of comfort and encouragement, I will come to you too, and I will bless you. As Linda Ross did when she died and sent me butterflies in my tummy for 4 hours. I had the most euphoric bliss of butterflies fluttering inside my tummy that felt like tiny little newborn baby kicks. And I thought at the time, is this some kind of fucking breakdown? Because I was under chronic attack even in those days. And I was 31 at the time, and had left my husband and been freshly strangled, and then lost this beautiful, beautiful friend from the Jewish community to leukemia. And when I got home from that day, I was working at a market stall, trying to get myself some pocket money because I was trying to provide for my children. Oh my God, it was endless. I found out that she had passed, and that was her goodbye to me. Euphoric, flying, butterfly kisses in my belly that felt like, you know, the kicks of a newborn, a newly forming human being. So I don't know how I will manifest that love to my beloveds, my true friends and remnant family. I guess my spirit will know, or God will help me achieve my little pathetic legacies of love that are left behind when I go. But I will do it. I will come to you. You will know it's me, decisively. Many of you I will never see again. Lynn Robertson, my childhood friend in New Zealand. Other friends that I have actually not met in real life, that are internet friends, that have been friends for, some have been friends for, 20 years or more, 23 years. Jackie Burns, who lives in New South Wales, who has talked about coming to see me. I don't know if I'll get to see her before my end comes. I don't know when my end is coming. I'm probably being a little bit hysterical and dramatic because how many times have I come close to death in my lifetime? Dozens. It's actually astonishing what I have survived in my lifetime. So the gods don't let me go easily. But there are people who I love deeply, who have been supportive and kind, that I would have loved to have met in person before I died, in the flesh, in a reasonable state of health. reasonable. My reasonable is way subpar to everyone else's. So, cheerful spirit, Sheila Snow, my beautiful one. I would love to have met you. Yes, look, my friend's just arrived. She's coming to put bandages on my back and comfort me in my time of horror. So I'm going to end this video quickly now and abruptly. But I send you love from the vortices above and the vortices below, from all four directions, and I tell you, even my enemies who I still love, like Dave Charles, love is eternal. Let it be a blessing instead of a curse. Thank you, goodbye. Have a beautiful day. God bless.